Hi everyone, here I am in my living room. I thought we could read a book today. I have Barry and Benny here to join me, and we'll talk to them after we're done reading our book. So today the book that we're going to read is called When I Feel Angry, written by Cornelia Maude Spelman and illustrated by Nancy Coate. When somebody makes fun of me, I feel angry. You know how I can tell that the character's angry? I can see their eyebrows are furrowed down. I feel angry when I have to stop a game at the best part and clean up my room, or when we finally can go swimming. It rains. That would make me feel angry too, especially if I'm waiting to go swimming all day. You can't really control the weather, but it can still make you angry for sure. And cleaning up my room, boy, do I feel angry when there's a big mess and now I have to clean it up. Or even frustrated. It makes me mad when I try my hardest, but I can't make my drawing look right. I just crumple it up and throw it away. If the teacher says I was talking and I wasn't, I get angry. It isn't fair. I know this has happened to me a lot. Even though I'm a grown-up and I've gone to art school and I've learned how to draw and do all these amazing things, sometimes I still can't get it down on the paper. I know what it should look like up here, but it's hard to get it down on the paper. So sometimes you do need to crumple up your drawing and throw it away or recycle it. And that's okay. Anger is a strong, hot feeling. When I feel angry, I want to say something mean or yell or hit. But feeling like I want to is not the same as doing it. Feeling can hurt anyone or get me in trouble, but feeling can't hurt anyone or get me in trouble, but doing can. So that's an interesting sentence. Feeling can't hurt anyone or get me in trouble. So while the character feels mad and they feel like they want to say something mean or yell or hit, just feeling that, it doesn't hurt anyone because they're feeling that themselves. But doing can. So if this person or character decides to yell at their friend, or decides to hit their friend, or decides to say something mean, that can hurt. And who does it hurt? I wonder. When I want to say something mean, or yell, or hit, there are other things I can do. Okay, so it sounds like just feeling that and keeping it to yourself or keeping it inside, it doesn't sound like that's a good idea. And I think that's because if you keep your anger inside, it keeps growing. It grows into a bigger anger and it grows into a hotter anger. And so I think finding other ways to get that anger out in a way that won't hurt someone or hurt yourself, I think that's probably the best thing to do, because we don't want that anger to grow bigger and to grow hotter. I wonder what ways, what we can do. I can go away from the person I'm angry with. I can take deep breaths and blow the air out hard to send the anger out of me. So that's kind of interesting. I might actually want to try that, because I'm feeling a little bit angry today, and I'm not really sure why. And it's okay not to know why. There's some days we just have grumpy days, and I know I do too. So take a deep breath and blow the air out hard. So not even slow, but really hard to blow the anger out of you. I'm going to try that now. Wow, that feels good. And I also know that in yoga, there's some really great breaths. It's called dragon breath. So dragon breath is when you open your mouth really big and wide and pretend like you're a dragon, blowing out that hot fire. So that might be a good way to think about your anger. It's a hot fire inside of us. And we don't want that hot fire to burn or to grow inside of us to make us even hotter. So we can be like dragons and use dragon breath to blow out that anger. You can even have your dragon claws like that. It's another great way to get that hot anger out. Let's see what else there is. I can make my anger cooler by running, riding my bike, or doing something I really like to do. After a while, I feel better. I can have a good time again. Oh, so here's another way to make your anger cooler. Running, riding my bike, doing something I like to do. Those sound, running and riding bikes. Exercise is a really great way to get energy out. If we have a lot of excited energy, if we have a lot of angry energy, it's a great way to get that feeling and that energy out. So that way it's not staying in our body and growing, because it's fun to have excited energy, and sometimes it can cause us to become overwhelming. Or if we have angry energy, that anger grows and grows. So it sounds like exercise would be a really great thing to do. One thing I like to do is exercise in the morning, because I need that energy. Maybe I still have sleepy energy and I want to feel better and more energized for the day and for all the work I have to do during the day. Riding my bike. I love to go on bike rides. That's a great thing to do. When I feel angry and I feel like I need to get away, or I might say something that might hurt someone, I go for a walk, and I go by myself, and I go for as long as I need to. Actually, the other day, I was feeling really sad, and I wasn't really sure why, but sometimes we have sad days just like we have grumpy days. And so I decided to go on a walk to my favorite park. I sat down by the pond and watched the ducks. I took deep breaths. I cried, and that was just got all that feeling out. And then I came home and I felt better. And so having that alone time is sometimes really important too. Some things that make me angry can't be changed. Like when our team loses, or my favorite things get spoiled. So here we have, sometimes you lose at a game. So if you're on a baseball team, or if you're playing maybe even a game with your family or your brother or sister, and you lose that game, you can't really control that, and it can still make you mad. I know I've gotten really mad when I haven't won a game. Or I know, let's see, in this picture, it looks like our character's shirt shrunk in the dryer, and so now they're unable to wear it. That would make me mad too. It makes me mad when I get a hole in my favorite pants, or in my favorite socks, or I lose one of my favorite socks. That makes me mad. I wonder what they're gonna do now that they can't control what happens. Let's see. But sometimes when I feel angry, it means something needs to be different. Maybe it's me. Maybe I need to rest or cry. Maybe I need time by myself. Maybe someone else needs to be different. Maybe someone needs to be nicer to me or to stop being unfair. So that's really interesting. It's hard to think about how sometimes the problems you're having can be caused by you or it can be caused by someone else. It's hard to know. So sometimes maybe I'm the one causing the problem and that's why I'm getting so angry. And so maybe I do need some alone time and time by myself or time to rest or time to cry. There are times during the day where I know that I'm getting mad and what's making me mad I can't change, or maybe it's not even something that's a big deal and I'm getting mad anyway. So that's when I need to step away. Usually I go to just have some rest and quiet time, and then I come back feeling better. And sometimes maybe it could be another person. Maybe they need to be nicer. Maybe they're not being kind to you. And it's hard to know what to say to those people. So here's what you might want to do. I might need help figuring it all out. That's the best thing you can do. If you're struggling with knowing why you're so angry, or why that person isn't being nice to you, or why this is all happening and why you're feeling that way, get some help. Ask for help. It is so okay to ask for help. I know that I find it really hard as a grown-up when I'm feeling angry. I find it hard to ask for help to figure out why I'm feeling so angry. Then I can change what I'm doing, or I can tell someone else what I need. I can listen to the other person tell too. Talking and listening usually makes things better. So talking about why you're mad, maybe you don't know why, so maybe you talk to the other person. Maybe it's your mom, maybe it's your dad, your grandma, your brother or sister. Whoever you're talking to, you can talk to them about what makes you mad, why you might be mad, or why might they be mad. Talking is a really great way to share your feelings with other people and to hear other people's feelings too. It's important to listen to others as well. It can be hard to listen to others' feelings too. When you feel your feelings so deeply, it's hard to listen to others. And it's really important too, because there are other people who feel the same way you do sometimes. When I feel angry, I don't have to stay angry. I can cool down so I don't hurt someone or get into trouble. I can go away, I can take deep breaths and blow them out. I can run, ride my bike, or play with my toys. I can rest or cry. I can figure out what made me angry or ask someone to help me. I can talk and I can listen. So there are so many different ways to figure out why you're angry, how to let your anger go, and what to do with your anger. And most importantly, I think this one's really important. We can forget about resting or crying. Those are ways to let our anger go. And those are the ways that I like to use the most. Those are the things I like to do the most of. I like to rest, I like to cry, and those are both okay. Getting your anger out looks different for everyone. Some people like to exercise or go for runs. Some people like to have alone time. Some people like hugs from their mom and dad when they're angry. Some people like squeezes. It's all different for everyone. You just have to figure out what's best for your body. When I feel angry, I know what to do. The end. That was a really great book, and I think a really important book, especially now that we are all at home with our families. Even with our family, they can make us angry sometimes. Sometimes, I remember when I was little and I was living with my mom and my family still, And my sister would make me angry. You know, our siblings make us angry, our parents make us angry sometimes, and that it happens, you know. Everyone feels anger, and it's okay to feel anger. And what we do with that anger is what's most important. Do we go around saying mean things to our moms and our parents and our siblings? Do we hit them? Do we, you know, do we do those things? We don't want to do those things. We might feel like we need to in order to get that anger out. And we have to think about what's going to happen if I say something mean or hit my parents or my sibling. What will happen afterwards? And how will I feel afterwards? So I thought I would bring Benny and Barry to tell us about that. Because as you know, Benny and Barry are brothers, and sometimes they don't get along. And that's okay, we're not supposed to get along all the time, but we can figure out ways to get along. So, hi Barry, hi Benny.
Hello.
Hi. Thanks for joining me today. So we just finished reading When I Feel Angry. Have you ever read that book?
Oh, we were listening.
Yeah.
I thought a lot about how I feel angry sometimes.
Yeah, me too. Tell me, what makes you feel angry, or why do you get angry?
Well, now that school's not open, I miss my friends. So I only have Benny to play with. And my mom and my dad.
Oh yeah? Yeah, I know. It's pretty disappointing that school is closed right now. I miss it too. And it can be frustrating to be stuck at home.
Yeah. And sometimes when I want to play with my mom and dad, they can't because they're working or they have some other work to do.
What do you think, Benny? How does that make you feel too?
The same. I like playing with Barry, but sometimes we fight.
What do you fight about?
Sometimes I don't want to share a toy, or he doesn't want to play the same game that I want to.
Oh, is that true, Barry?
Yeah. Well, sometimes I really want to play Legos. I really love Legos all the time, and I like to build. And Benny, it makes me so mad because he'll knock down what I'm building.
Oh, that would make me mad too. What do you do when that happens?
Well, I yell at him.
Oh, I bet yelling feels really good. Sometimes having a good yell when you're mad does make me feel really good. Well, can I ask you something?
Mm-hmm.
Well, when you choose to yell at Benny, what happens after that?
Well, after I yell at Benny, I get in trouble.
Oh, then how do you feel?
I feel sad.
Yeah. Why do you feel sad?
Well, because then my parents make me go on a timeout.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it can be frustrating and it can make us feel sad and angry when we're given choices and we make the wrong choice. So it sounds like even though yelling feels really, really good to get your anger out that way, so that way it's not growing inside you, it sounds to me like when we yell at someone else, it doesn't feel as good. Yeah. Well, how about you, Benny? What do you do when Barry yells at you?
Well, I cry.
Yeah. How come?
Because I don't like it when Barry yells at me, and it scares me.
Yeah. It sounds like yelling it can feel good to yell.
And it sounds like when we yell at other people, it really affects them, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. And it can make people feel sad, just like Benny's feeling sad right now. So when you're put into timeout, Barry, what do you do during that time?
I cry.
Yeah, I imagine it probably feels not very good to be put in timeout. Yeah. So what do you do after you come out of timeout?
Well, I usually stop crying and I go back and play with my Legos.
Do you ever say anything to Benny?
Sometimes, but mostly we just play alone for a little bit.
Oh, well, that's okay. Sometimes when we're really angry, it's good to be apart from each other for a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Having that space can feel good for both of the people who were involved and who were angry at each other. And it's also really important to come back together afterwards. Do you ever do that?
Sometimes.
Yeah, what does that look like? Or why don't I ask Benny? Benny, what does it look like after you have some alone time, after you've been angry and sad and, after all that, what happens?
Well, sometimes I go give Barry a hug, or sometimes I draw him a picture.
Yeah? Why do you like to do that?
Well, I don't know.
Can I tell you something? It sounds to me like you want to say you're sorry, or you want to let Barry know that you still love him because he's your brother. Do you think that sounds right?
Yeah.
I think that's a really nice way to repair your relationship with Barry.
What does that mean?
Well, repairing, when you hear that word, Barry, what does it mean to repair?
To fix, like using tools to fix a broken chair.
Yeah, exactly. So sometimes when we are angry with each other, it can feel like things are broken afterwards. Do you agree? Because we're very sad or angry or scared, and we need this alone time, right? We take the alone time after we're done being angry and we have cooled down a little bit, and things might still feel broken, right? We might not know what to do after we've had this big fight. And so it sounds to me like Benny has some really good ideas of how to repair the relationship. So how do we say we're sorry, or how do we show the person that we still love them even after this fight, even after this anger? So Benny, it sounds like Benny really likes to make you pictures. Do you like that, Barry?
Yeah, I hang them up in my bedroom.
Oh, that's so nice. That's such a great way to show that you appreciate Benny and what he made for you. What do you like to do for Benny?
Well, I like to bring him a snack, or I like to give him hugs.
Oh, yeah, hugs are a really great way to repair things. I think that's something that I really enjoy too.
Oh, really? You get mad? And you have fights?
Oh, yeah, all the time. And I still take those moments to give hugs and spend time together, and it can feel really good when you repair things like that. Does that feel good to you, Benny? And then we can figure out ways to play better together. And I think that's something we'll talk about next time. But thanks for sharing that story with me, you guys.
You're welcome.
I think you both have really great ways of showing each other that you still love one another even after a fight. And I think that's really special. Mm. And I think I can use a hug too. Mm. Well, thanks for visiting for our story time today. And I hope that some of what Barry and Benny shared, I hope that you can practice it at home too. It can be really hard to get along with each other when we are at home for so long and we're away from our friends and from our teachers and other people that we like to see that we don't really get to see anymore. So I think it's important to take care of each other during this time and to make sure that we're repairing things and that we're not leaving things broken. So I hope this story time with Barry and Benny and I helps you a little bit. So until next time, we'll have another story time another day. Have a good day.